Welcome. Today I bring you the preview of the next chapter of The Ambassador's Daughter. Nair goes to see her father to warn him not to say anything to Sanjar. At that moment Sanjar arrives, so Nair looks for a place to hide. Guven opens the door and Sanjar comes in upset. Guven asks him to calm down so they can talk, but Sanjar reminds him that they asked him who Akin's spy was, but he lied to them. Guven replies that he couldn't tell Geddes that the spy was Moog when they were threatening him with boiling water. Sanjar releases him and asks why Nair ran away from Montenegro. But Guven tells him that he won't say anything if they don't make a deal first. Sanjar threatens him. So Guven tells Sanjar that Nair wanted to hurt him by taking Melik. Sanjar asks him about Akin, but Guven says that Akin has nothing to do with that, making Sanjar furious. Sanjar yells at him that he knows that Nair fled Montenegro for Akin and asks him what happened to her. But Guven only replies that he doesn't know and that Nair didn't tell him anything. Sanjar lets him go and asks him where Akin is. But Guven answers that he doesn't know, but he will find out. He tells him that as soon as he finds out where he is, he will tell him, since Akin ruined his reputation and he wants money in return. So Sanjar asks him how much money he wants. Guven answers that he wants another million. So Sanjar answers that he will give him the money when he gives Akin to him and leaves upset. Nair comes out of the bathroom and angrily orders her father not to say anything about Akin to Sanjar, so Guven tells her that he agreed to keep quiet before in exchange for money, but that he will obey whoever gives him more. So Nair texts Geddes to ask him to meet. Yaya returns to the mansion with Elvan. Gulsier, seeing Elvan, complains that he left her alone all day and tells her that Manex is taking it out on her, so Elvan gets upset and goes to bother Manex. Manex ignores her and asks Yaya where Sanjar is and why he hasn't come back to the house, asks her to tell her if she knows anything or if Sanjar is living with Nair. But Yaya leaves upset. Elvan makes fun of Manex for thinking she is the owner of the mansion. So Manex angrily locks herself in the room. Then Elvan goes to her room, where he argues with Yaya. He throws the ring and leaves in anger, so Elvan is saddened. Nair arrives at Geddes' house and sees Moog crying in the garden, so she goes to her to tell her that she understands her pain, but she will not leave her alone. She apologizes but tells her that she had to show her the truth. But Moog gets angry and yells at her for showing her everything and ruining her. Nair tells her that she understands that she is confused. But Moog yells at her that she should have left Akin alone if she didn't want anything to happen to her. Geddes, on hearing her angrily, goes to see them, and Moog, realizing what she said, apologizes to Nair in sorrow and leaves. Geddes angrily yells at Moog for what she said. Nair defends Moog, who leaves in tears, but Geddes continues angry, complaining about Moog. Nair tells him that Moog is at his worst and that she didn't mean it, but Geddes doesn't understand why she still defends Moog. Nair tells him that Moog is also a victim and that everyone makes mistakes. Geddes complains that she never thinks about his good and is defending everyone. Nair tells her that she also wants to do things for herself, but she can't just be mad at Moog for not noticing Akin's manipulation or let Sanjar see the video of Akin attacking her. Plus, even though she can't forgive Sanjar, she is not able to give up on him. Geddes tries to calm her down and encourage her. Sanjar goes to see Kavarek and Melik. Zara asks him if he talked to Yaya, so Sanjar asks him to talk about it later, and noticing that Nair is not there, he asks where she went. Zara tells him that Nair went to see Moog. Melik complains that he can hardly ever see them together and asks him to accompany them to look for a house. Nair is in the bathroom practicing how to ask Geddes to give her $1 million to give to Guven, while Geddes prepares ice cream for Nair. Rafika arrives and complains about her visit to Orhan's house and Halis, revealing that they kept the FA's inheritance. Geddes tells her that Halis only told the truth, but Rafika complains that Halis is going to be cleared since they are going to get Nekdet out of jail, so Geddes is surprised and goes to take the ice cream to Nair. So Rafika complains that Nair is there. Geddes enters Nair's room and gives her the ice cream, then asks her about Nekdet, so Nair says that even if they are trying to get him out of prison, she is going to report them. Geddes asks her if she wanted to meet him to talk about it. Nair replies no, and that she actually wanted to ask him for $1 million and that she is very sorry for asking him something like that. Geddes comments that recently those who receive the money are Guven and Akin, so he asks her who she plans to give it to. Nair replies that she will give it to her father. Geddes comments that now Guven is earning more than them with the business and asks him what the problem is. Nair answers that Sanjar offered Guven $1 million to find Akin and so find out everything, so she needs to give him more money so he won't talk. Geddes says that it's not about Guven anymore, since even giving him money Sanjar will persist and end up finding the truth. Nair swears to him that he will give it back since he plans to work but he won't be able to work at the port. Geddes asks him why. Nair says that he loves the port but Sanjar won't let him and asks him if he will give him the money. So Geddes tells him that he will give it to him if he continues working at the port. Nair asks him not to do that as it was very difficult to have an agreement with Sanjar, but Geddes tells him that if he has made deals with Sanjar he can make them with him too. Nair tells him that by not working at the port he can have a house, live with his daughter and get a job somewhere else, but Geddes tells her that she should not settle for so little as he knows what she is capable of. So he wants her to be able to work wherever she wants and have a home with Melik without having to ask Sanjar's permission, but Nair tells her that by working at the port the friendship and partnership between them ended. Geddes tells her that her friendship with Sanjar will never end but so far they have done what Sanjar has wanted. But if he is going to give $1 million he wants to decide too and asks her if she accepts or not. The next day Dudu sees Yaya sleeping in the car outside the port, so she greets him and asks for his car. So Yaya invites her to drive it, so she excitedly gets in and they drive off together. Sanjar wakes up and goes to see if Nair has arrived, but he doesn't see her next to Melik, so he gets worried and goes to the room. But outside he meets Nair, so he asks her when she arrived. She answers that she arrived at night but he was already asleep. Sanjar asks her why she stayed so long at Geddes' house, so Nair answers that since Moog was not well he went to talk to her. Sanjar asks her if Geddes was there too, so Nair says that she only talked to Moog and asks her not to ask more. Sanjar says that there is no need to ask when she has a way to check. Nair asks her what she is doing and asks her not to call Moog, but Sanjar calls Geddes to ask him to take Moog to the port and comments to Nair that he will accompany them to look for a house since that is what Melik wanted. Nair goes to wake Melik while Zara, Sanjar and Kavarek talk about whether to testify against Halis. Dudu and Yaya go to eat together. Dudu tells her that Golsier told him everything that happened, so Yaya gets upset and asks if she is also going to scold him for getting a criminal out of jail. But Dudu tells her that although he would like Halis to be punished he understands since she would do the same for her mother. Sanjar, Nair and Melik go to see some houses. Nair asks Sanjar if he is angry with her because he will denounce Halis, but Sanjar replies that the only thing that bothers him is the lies. Then Nair asks if he can let her work at the port for a while everything stabilizes, but Sanjar gets upset. Akin meets with the detective to talk about new leads. He tells him that there is no trace of Nair and gives him the file with all of Nair's friends. And so we end this preview, until next time.